Prediction: the final shape is gonna bang incredibly hard. If it sucks, you can execute me in public. So just a few short months ago, Destiny 2's reputation was horrible. I mean, completely in the toilet, and not even a regular toilet with running water. I'm talking a campground toilet, just a massive basin full of poop. But in the span of quite literally only 3 to 4 months, we went from people thinking that Destiny 2 is completely toast to we're back, baby. But how did it happen? For someone that's been playing Destiny for 10 years now, like I have, I can tell you that it was not very surprising. Destiny is a very cyclical game, and this is a classic point in the Destiny cycle. Step 1, put out something that is kind of average, which leaves people disappointed. Step 2, think that you can keep getting away with average, but then you put out something that sucks so bad that you think that everybody in your building is going to be fired. Step 3, put out something that bangs incredibly hard, now everybody loves you guys again. Step 4, you start riding so high that you end up all the way at step 1 again. And in my opinion, step 1 is kind of exactly what we got with Lightfall. It was not so bad that it just instantly killed the game, but if you look at the player count, we went from an all-time high player count with Lightfall to just slowly dropping off. We had the Asta Cross Silver scandal, and then they started firing everybody. People that had been there for like 20 or 30 years. Truly, the Destiny 2 community thought that it was Jover. But in the words of Martin Luther King Jr., if it had never been so over, we never could have been this back. And that's what we're feeling right now with Into the Light. Oh my god, what a beautiful little expansion sort of thing. Sort of like a season, like a DLC season. Like a mix. So right before Into the Light comes out, sentiment is still very bad. Everybody realizes that Bungie's gonna have to let their nuts hang on this one. And that's exactly what they did. They start off with Onslaught. Banger of a game mode. Dare I say, the best non-exotic mission, non-dungeon, non-raid activity in Destiny 2, potentially of all time. That's just my opinion though, honestly. Haven't even really played a lot of those activities. As Destiny 2 fans, we are metaphorically eating right now, but I am literally eating my Factor meals, the sponsor of today's video. Factor is a meal prep service that takes a lot of the planning out of the eating that you have to do in the day. In fact, it only takes 2 minutes to get a chef-prepared meal hot and ready to eat. They even now offer breakfast, smoothies, and small bites, as well as the normal meals. And if you're the type of guy that's looking for something a little bit more upscale, they have their premium meals as well. For someone like me who works from home and is trying to do as much work as possible, a lot of times I don't want to set an hour aside to cook a nice lunch for myself, so Factor is very convenient for that. So go ahead and get 50% off of your first Factor box and 20% off of your next month of orders by using my link. You can click the link in the description or just scan the QR code on the screen with your phone. A big thank you to Factor, and let's get back to talking about Destiny 2. The Whisper exotic mission came back, which was always fun as expected. Then they dropped Pantheon, which is a raid boss gauntlet game mode, which in my opinion is kind of exactly what Destiny 2 needed. They need to break away from the cycle of, okay, let's do a weekly story, let's do a dungeon or a raid, and let's do like an exotic mission. How about we try something new? They need to get a little more creative with the different game modes that they're adding, and that's exactly what Pantheon is. We got 3 brand new PvP maps, which was obviously desperately needed. I still don't think they really care at all about PvP, but it was a nice gesture. It was like our Make-A-Wish per se. And then we got 0 Hour back. It banged just like usual, and in my opinion, having a legend version of both of these kind of classic exotic missions helped a lot. Obviously it's still recycled content, but I enjoyed it because it had been gone for so long. So when you take into account all of that and then the different Vidocs and stuff that they've been dropping for the final shape, and they have perfectly kind of bridged the gap between the latest Destiny season and the final shape. It's like they've built a nice little ramp for final shape to launch off. Metaphors. Yeah. And on top of all that, like I said, we thought that maybe the Destiny 2 was a dead end. It didn't seem like they had any public plans of a Destiny 3, and they mentioned the whole episodes thing, but it seemed like Destiny 2 was not necessarily dying, but just that we had reached the end of its existence. But a leak had come out from a reputable source that Destiny 3 was in the works, and I think that it had been in the works for a couple of years now. Hope had been restored amongst the last safe city, because before we knew we were going to get the final shape and then episodes, whatever those were, and then that was kind of just it, I guess. But now there's hope for a future in Destiny, and something that would be a lot different in Destiny 3. I won't go into the specifics of it, but from the stuff that they leaked, it seems like they're going to do a pretty significant shakeup. At least pretty significant considering how little change there was going from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. I'd like to apologize a little bit, as I understand that this video has been kind of a turbo glaze for Bungie at this point. So don't get me wrong, it's not like they're doing everything perfect. The PvP is still atrocious. It's embarrassing. If you can even believe it, if you're a new viewer of mine from the past 1 or 2 years, but I got my start in Destiny by being a competitive Destiny 2 PvP tournament player. Now I get wasted while playing random PvE exotic missions. That should tell you enough. But don't get me wrong, it's not only about them making good content, they also have to restore trust. After years of just milking everybody dry for as much money as possible, it is going to take probably a couple years of lots of goodwill on their part for people to ever trust them again. And I'm just hoping that this has been a big enough lesson to the point where they won't restore trust and then we're getting milked again like 12 months later. Simply put, to summarize this video, they cannot afford to mess up again, and they have a track record of providing some pretty good content when their back is up against the wall. Another good sign for the final shape, in my opinion, is that the DLC that was supposed to come out the year that Lightfall came out was the final shape, but it was delayed because they needed more time. The result of that was that they introduced the Witness in Lightfall, but then just did nothing with him. Overall, that's why Lightfall felt like a bit of a nothing burger. With that being said though, they truly do need to figure out what they're doing monetization wise, because it is way too hard to navigate for new players, and if a game like Destiny is not actively gaining new players, it is just slowly dying. The main point that I'm hinting at here is that if you're ever in a moment in the future, maybe, hopefully not in the next month when Final Shape comes out, but if there's a point where people are saying that Destiny 2 is dying, it's over, it's completely finished, just take a moment, step back a little bit, and you'll realize that you're very likely just in a familiar step of the same Destiny life cycle. It is a human-made product, and creative people are being managed by people that are simply trying to make as much money as possible. And the result of that is sometimes you are going to get a product that is great, sometimes it's gonna suck. But the most important thing is to continue voting with your dollars, because the only reason that we get some of these fantastic expansions like Forsaken, the Witch Queen, hopefully Final Shape, is because you've put their backs against the wall and they have no choice but to make something that is good, or else they are going to go completely under. I am now visiting you from one day into the future. I recorded this commentary video yesterday, but the Final Shape trailer came out today and it looks incredible. Obviously, we might just be more victims of Bungie's excellent marketing, but so far it looks very promising. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, dropping a like would help out a ton, and leave a comment letting me know what you thought of this whole entire commentary video slash reason why I think Final Shape will be good video commentary video. Leave the comment in the comment section. I truly appreciate your input, and hopefully I will catch you in my next video, which will be a low man raid with the Snazzy Rock. Bye bye.